If you sometimes find yourself with a lack of time but still keep wanting to pop those platinum trophies, and if you have PS Plus Extra, then this list will almost definitely have something for you. Of course, with all these games being on PS Plus, and if you're watching this video a month or further into the future, there is a strong possibility that they may have been removed. As always, I use PSNP as my measurement for difficulty, so if you think a game is more difficult or easier than I say, then take it up with PSNP, or hurl the abuse at me in the comment section. The interactions will help massively and it'll give me a good chuckle. If you're already subscribed to me, you know I don't like to waste time, and if you're not subscribed, then go do it. Before we get straight into the list, a quick shout out to the channel members of the Bomb Squad: Mr. Leaning Versus, Gutter Snipe Games, Peter Jackson, and lastly, the guy I've brought on board in today's video for some additional help, the king of PS Plus himself, Platinum Opus. So enough dilly-dallying, let's get into the games. Animal Well is a captivating Metroidvania that masterfully blends exploration, puzzle solving, and atmospheric storytelling. Players navigate a mysterious subterranean world, encountering a variety of creatures and environmental challenges. The game's pixel art is both nostalgic and stunning, with expressive lighting and fluid effects that enhance its immersive atmosphere. The puzzles are thoughtfully designed, often requiring creative use of acquired items to progress. This encourages lateral thinking and experimentation, keeping the gameplay engaging and rewarding. Critics have lauded Animal Well for its depth and originality. Eurogamer described it as an astonishingly rich Metroidvania, highlighting its immersive exploration and intricate design. For fans of puzzle platformers and Metroidvania games, Animal Well offers a rich and rewarding experience that is both challenging and deeply satisfying. With a difficulty estimated at 3 out of 10, requiring just a single playthrough, this platinum trophy can be yours in roughly 15 hours.
Raji, an Ancient Epic, is an action-adventure game that released as a Switch exclusive before its slightly later release on PlayStation in October 2020. In Raji, you'll be exploring Indian folklore and battling enemies inspired by Hindu mythology, and while gaming as a whole hasn't touched on this too often, Raji hits the mark. Well, for the most part. You'll be able to use the environment to your advantage, which helps amplify the basic combat by adding additional ways to use your light and heavy attacks against countless demons you'll be battling against. There are a number of collectibles, and with a guide you'll cut down some of that time required to earn the platinum, but if you are to miss anything, once the game is completed there is Chapter Select, which helps you with the cleanup. The only issue with Raji is that it has an abrupt ending, which finishes on a cliffhanger and makes you feel like you've just played part 1 of a much larger game. Fortunately though, the Platinum Trophy should be obtainable within about 5 to 6 hours, and it only has an estimated difficulty of 2 out of 10, so it won't leave a sour taste in your mouth. Just a quick note as well is that the PS4 version actually doesn't have a Platinum Trophy, but the PS5 version does, so make sure you pick up the correct version when you play.
Werewolf: The Apocalypse Earthblood is set in a grim, dystopian future where you take on the role of Kahal, a werewolf seeking redemption while battling the forces of corruption. The game's combat features brutal transformations between human, wolf and werewolf forms, each offering distinct playstyles suited for stealth, exploration or intense brawls. While the game's atmosphere and story rooted in the World of Darkness setting are intriguing, Earthblood struggles with repetitive gameplay and dated graphics. The narrative is engaging, but the linear missions and lack of variety in environments might make the experience feel a bit monotonous. Overall, Earthblood offers an enjoyable experience for fans of the Werewolf universe, but it may not appeal to those seeking deeper gameplay or innovation. Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood will take you roughly 10 hours, requiring just a single playthrough with an estimated difficulty of 3 out of 10, so this platinum shouldn't give you too many issues.
The Plucky Squire is an action-adventure platform game developed by All Possible Futures and published by Devolver Digital, and is one of the most recent releases on this list, with it coming to PS Plus Essential in 2024. With its amazing artistic backdrop, you'll be playing as Jot and his friends who discover a three-dimensional world outside the pages of their book in which they reside. Switch between the book world and reality as the gameplay swaps between 2D and 3D. While parts of the game need a little bit more polish, the Plucky Squire expertly crafts an adorable and interesting story full of lovable characters, enjoyable narration, and simple but effective combat. One thing to note if you are going to go for this platinum trophy is that there is conflicting reports of one of the trophies being bugged and not unlocking during the chapter select once the game has been completed. However, if all of the glitch birds are collected in one clean swoop, the trophy will be unlocked as intended. The game has an estimated difficulty of 2 out of 10 and it requires just one single playthrough. You'll be happy collecting the platinum in roughly about 9 hours.
Ben 10 doesn't really do much other than what it says on the tin. Being a Ben 10 game, you know you'll be playing as Ben Tennyson, and you'll be able to switch between multiple aliens as you battle your way through the 6 levels of the game. Being based off of a popular cartoon, you know straight up that it's not going to be a great game, but it's a quirky little experience. As a standard 3D beat 'em up, you can switch between aliens that you've unlocked and upgrade their abilities to make things even more simplistic. And if you want an even easier time, then it's time to upgrade Heat Blast, who can pretty much one-shot the majority of enemies and even do some ridiculous damage to the bosses. Speaking of bosses, they are tied to probably the most difficult trophies in this game, as you have to defeat 3 of them without getting hit, but it's very doable, hence why the game is only considered a 4 out of 10 difficulty. So within one playthrough and taking you roughly 5 hours, Ben 10's Platinum Trophy will be yours. And if you really enjoy Ben 10, there are other games in the series, but don't ask me about them as I'm yet to look into them.
After Us is a beautiful action-adventure game developed by Piccolo Studio and published by Private Division in May of 2023. Playing as a spirit named Gaia, you'll traverse through these beautifully crafted landscapes, all while rescuing ghosts of the last animals that went extinct on the dystopian version of Earth. There is a total of 8 areas, each containing a ghost animal you'll need to collect and send back to the central area. Also in each area will be enemies referred to as Devourers, which are ghosts of the humans that ravaged the planet. There are plenty of collectibles in the world, and having a guide would be handy, but it's not required as there are subtle hints throughout the game to signal when a collectible is nearby. Overall, After Us is a delightful experience which hosts a difficulty of 2 out of 10, and it requires one single playthrough, and it will take roughly 10 hours to get the platinum.
Deliver Us Mars is a captivating sci-fi adventure that follows the journey of Kathy, a young astronaut on a mission to retrieve vital technology from Mars. The game builds on the foundation set by its predecessor, Deliver Us the Moon, with improved graphics and an even more engaging storyline. Players navigate a variety of environmental puzzles and thrilling moments of survival, all while exploring the alien landscape of Mars. The emotional narrative and stunning visuals make it a standout, though some may find the pacing slow at times. Overall, it's a solid and immersive experience for fans of exploration and space-themed games. Just like the prequel, there are a lot of collectibles once again tied into the Astro tool that you'll be using to learn more about the planet of Mars and unlock deeper information on what has actually happened. With a difficulty of 2 out of 10, requiring one playthrough with a bit of cleanup, it will take you an estimated 10 hours and the game will deliver us the platinum.
Erica is an interactive film video game developed by Flavorworks and published by Sony Interactive, which was released back in August 2019. If you've ever experienced interactive games before, then you'll know what to expect. So if you're not a fan, you might want to sit this one out. You, the player, will be tasked with making choices at critical story junctures to steer which branch of the narrative you wish to take. As you can imagine, with branching narrative paths, in order to win the platinum you'll have to see everything, so be prepared for a minimum of 6 playthroughs. Luckily the game is super short, so even with those playthroughs, the platinum trophy should only take about 9 hours. Difficulty wise, PSN Profiles has it as a 3 out of 10, but other than a few collectibles, there isn't anything to suggest that it should be any higher than a 2 out of 10. So I highly recommend a guide so you don't make any mistakes and force any additional playthroughs, because after the 3rd or 4th you'll probably just want this game to end.
Now this one is going to be very subjective. If you're experienced with fighting games, then this will be an easy plat. If not, then this could prove to be a difficult task. Melty Blood Type Lumina is a visually stunning 2D fighting game with a strong emphasis on fast-paced combat and deep mechanics. Part of the Melty Blood series, it combines traditional anime-style visuals with tight, responsive gameplay. Melty Blood Type Lumina is probably the only fighting game off the top of my head that doesn't require you to win any online matches. You do have to take part in a single match for the only online trophy, but everything else can be earned completely offline. There will be 14 stories that you will need to complete, each one different from the last, and can be sped up by going into the options settings and changing the round count to 1. As always with fighting games, what you see is what you get. Tutorials, challenges, character stories and ranks. As for PSNP's guides, they have the difficulty set as a 5 out of 10 and an estimated platinum time of 10 hours.
Valiant Hearts The Great War is a side-scrolling puzzle adventure game that came out in 2014 and was developed by Ubisoft Montpellier and published by Ubisoft. Set during World War I, the game follows 4 characters who help a young German soldier find his love in a story about survival, sacrifice and friendship. Players solve puzzles by interacting with various objects and people. There are collectibles and they're in each of the chapters, but they're easily picked up, and if you go back through chapter select, it will state which ones you are missing. There is one trophy that is considered to be buggy or bugged, but apparently it's super rare, with people claiming that it's not been an issue for them, so you should be okay. PSN Profiles has it as a 3 out of 10 difficulty, requiring just one single playthrough and taking roughly 8 hours for that wonderfully beautiful platinum trophy.
So as always, I'll ask you guys, what did you think of the list? Do you have any other suggestions or recommendations for people that may have clicked on this video looking for something quick and chilled? A huge thank you to every single viewer, every like and interaction, and of course, a massive thank you to Platinum Opus for joining me in this video. Be sure to go and check out his channel and drop him a sub. I'll leave the link in the description. If you want to see more videos similar to this or full platinum style videos, be sure to check out my channel, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks again and peace.